Hi, guys. Howdy. Yeah, fuck. I need a drink. Would you like some cherry juice?
No, thank you.
Okay. Hi, guys. Large Aaron, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate it. Look, we could all be upset about everything that's happening, but a sub would go a long way in helping the affected parties. I think we're all wearing black. Yeah, I know. Brittany had a bit of a vigil today in her Patreon. Um, where do we start? Here's the thing. I think the worst thing that could ever happen to a reality show is when the viewers become indifferent. And I think the power of Big Brother versus a show like Survivor is it's extremely rare for Big Brother to have its audience be indifferent, right? Because in Big Brother, at the end of the day, even if the season's not going your way, you have a lot of feelings about it, and even the ounce of hope keeps you in the mix. You know what I mean? So Big Brother 25, for example, a very disliked season, I think, in the grand scheme of things. You're still super invested at the final 6. Even at the final 4, can Felicia pull out an HOH? You know what I mean? And it's unlikely, and it often doesn't happen, and it's disappointing, and that's all true. Where I'm at now with Big Brother 27 is like, there's a veto happening now, I think. Vince is playing and someone else. I just don't care. Like, genuinely, it doesn't mean anything to me. And it's just like, and it's not even because Rachel's gone. I think if Rachel was evicted in a normal context, it is what it is. Right? Like, I think you totally move forward. Rachel's made enough mistakes to justify being evicted if it were to happen, right? Like, there was definitely a path for Rachel to get 9th place in a legitimate, honest fashion. It might have been one of the likelier outcomes. But with how it happened, now the game is taking a very kind of gross direction in what looks like what's going to happen, and I could only imagine, honestly, 2 good winners at this point in terms of like a fun season. Keanu winning, I think, would be awesome. I think Ashley winning would be fun. I think Vince winning would be fascinating. I don't think it's the outcome I'd like, but I think it would be an interesting outcome. But more than anything else is like, I don't care really. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Even Ashley winning, I'm not like, it's not enough for me to like root for her, you know? Let's talk about that messy bird, because I've seen a lot of that going around. Rachel won because of Pandora's Box, season 13. Production rigged it so she could win. I don't think there's a really strong argument against that specifically. Like, I've yet to hear a compelling case about how Big Brother 13 introducing a twist at the final 6 that allowed Rachel to play a competition she had already won to save her and... We all know what that was. Now, here's what people should consider. When people think about Big Brother 13 and Rachel's win, there's a massive fucking asterisk on it. And everyone views that win a certain way and views that season's ending a certain way because of the bullshit twists introduced. So, when those same people call out the bullshit in Big Brother 27, they're not being hypocritical. They're not contradicting themselves. They're actually being entirely consistent. Like, Big Brother 13 is infamous for being one of the most unfair seasons. And BB 27 just jumped into that category. One of them benefited Rachel, one of them didn't, and they're both ass. Both of them. They suck. And yes, this is another point I want to talk about. Would there be this much outrage if Kelly was the beneficiary or the victim of, what is it, the White Locust? No. Of course not. But when production fucks around, there is always the possibility that they'll find out. If Kelly goes, no one would care. We'd still think it's a stupid twist. We'd still acknowledge it's unfair. We wouldn't care as much. Of course not. But we don't live in that world. We live in this world. And it is not, again, hypocritical to be upset that the frontrunner, or at least one of the frontrunners, the biggest figure on the season, got evicted in this way. It's fine to be frustrated about that and also acknowledge, yeah, if it was Kelly, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But the twist, you put it aside, you look at it objectively, is just horrible. And when you have a horrible twist with the worst outcome, you're going to get the biggest response. Duh. Like, I don't think that's a reasonable counter-argument, being like, yeah, well, if it was Lauren, you guys would be celebrating. Yeah, maybe. In that world that doesn't exist right now? Like, what are you saying? So that's that part of it. Let's talk about the twist in general. I don't want to go into the specifics about the competition yet because I just think it's kind of not that important. The premise of Big Brother has always been, Big Brother's always watching 24/7 live feeds, whatever. As time has gone on, the feeds have gotten more and more limited. Now, they have never really jumped the shark. Like even Big Brother 25 and 6 and 7 so far, the feeds cut a lot. It's annoying. They get very choppy around certain subjects. But generally speaking, we still have live feeds. The live feeds are still there. They get a little annoying to work with, getting rid. Like, there's a lot of steps they've taken to make it more annoying, but they're still there. This twist was the first time I've ever been concerned for the live feeds. Not in terms of, like, them getting rid of them entirely, but they're really being liberal with how much and why they cut them. Because having an entire post-jury eviction or elimination or whatever happen off feeds is so against the spirit of what Big Brother is. And again, the reason why it's so outrageous is because it's Rachel. And that makes sense. Just think about this entire season. I think the most interesting storylines are Rachel and Keanu frenemies has been so fun to follow all season. Anytime they're having a conversation, you have to switch to the camera immediately. Rachel versus Vince has been the Cold War brewing the entire season with Rachel nominating Vince, Vince winning all these HOHs and still never nominating Rachel, and them building up their sides kind of against each other. And that's gone. Shit, even Rachel and Kelly have this crazy beef that manifests in this pretty fun fight. And that results in nothing. We have Rachel, Ashley, and Will. They got their final 3. They're trying to run the table. Rachel trying to be the first 2-time winner. That's done. There's just, like, so many of the things that I was interested in watching are no longer there. And maybe you could say, well, if she was evicted in 9th place anyways, the storylines would be gone. No. Those storylines would be resolved. Like, one way or another, maybe Vince campaigned the troops, rallied them, got Rachel evicted. That would suck, but it would be an ending. Maybe Keanu finally pulls the trigger, backdoors Rachel. That would be miserable, and I'd prefer that. Maybe Rachel says, I miss my kids and Brendan, I want to quit the house. Okay, I'd be outraged. It'd be better than this. It just feels like, in so many ways, this season was just like, it had the life sucked out of it. And again, it's not because Rachel's gone. It's how they got rid of Rachel. And even if we got to see this goofy-ass competition on feeds, I'd feel better. Because at least then I'd be able to have seen what happens instead of having to trust whatever bullshit they put out on Tuesday. And they thought this was a good idea, too. Which is always just so puzzling to me. Thank you, Kristen, for the 21 months, Matt for the 21, and Shinx for the 10 months. It's our anniversary, so that means one of us is going to die in a hamster wheel. Yeah, well, I'm down to join that club, to be honest. It's a star-studded group. Jerry, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. But thank you, Jerry. Again, every sub is going to my production email fund. Every sub is 10 more characters I'm going to type. My email's going to get bounced immediately. But I do appreciate it, Jerry. Could they stop her if she just walked out of jury? She's not going to do that because Rachel's not like a terrible sport. And also, like, I'm sure Rachel has a decent signing bonus or a stipend or appearance fee or whatever. And, like, why would she give that up? That's so stupid. It's also, she's only there for a couple weeks. It's really not that bad. It's not over, Rachel in 5. Quinn, you got to get off this denial stage. You got to join the riot. So, a couple things. Excuse me. People got to chill with the ratings discussion because it's not just that it's wrong, it's just kind of embarrassing. It's just a little bit embarrassing. Like, the ratings are not going to, like, you understand, Rachel being evicted during this silly twist with Tyler Crispin is like the casuals Super Bowl. Like, genuinely, this is like the biggest event for casuals. They're gonna like gather, have parties, celebrating. Tyler's gonna be there the whole like, this is great for them. Ratings are gonna be fine. Ratings have been good this season. Ratings were good after Tucker left. Like, ratings are ratings. Our online community is a minuscule fraction of a fraction of what CBS cares about. Okay. Now, another thing I've seen going around is people being like, yo, touch, it's just a show, who cares? I get that. But also, I think it's cool to care about a show, and that's why Big Brother is, again, kind of different from a Survivor, Amazing Race, even The Challenge, where, like, Big Brother, you're there with the house guest the entire time, which sometimes leads to parasocial relationships and weirdness, but also leads to you feeling much more connected to the show and more invested in what happens. So, I think it's fine to care. I don't think this should ruin your week. You know, like, at the end of the day, it isn't that serious for most of us, right? Like, life goes on. But I think it's fine to be pissed, and it's fine to be upset. And to lash out in a reasonable fashion, you know? Petty, thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate it. Hope you are doing well. It's a hefty total number. Look at you. An icon. Jag at least utilized his social game to get his ally to give him the power the viewers gave. There's just such a massive difference between a stupid-ass twist saving someone and a stupid-ass twist evicting someone. Like, at the end of the day, like, Zombie Week was terrible. I think it was an even more poorly planned twist than what happened yesterday. But at the end of the day, like, I got screwed by it, Mimi got screwed by it, and we both still had a veto and a vote. And we could have won the HOH. And we had the whole week to play the social game. When a twist saves somebody, it's like, okay, shit, Jag's not going to be evicted 4th. He still has to play the rest of the game. When you're evicted, it's just over. Rachel's game ended because of this twist. No one's game ended because Jag got the power of invincibility. So I don't think those are even in the same ballpark. I do think Zombie Week's a worse twist in the sense of, like, what if this terrible Rachel twist took a week and a half with, like, no gameplay? Like, she just had to sit there for a week going home. So Zombie Week, like, practically is pretty terrible. But in terms of, like, impact on the integrity of the game, I don't think they're in the same category. I'm scared to even apply to the show because knowing I could get ejected because of a comp terrifies me. There's a lot of things to be scared of going on Big Brother Jacksonia. I don't think that cracks the top 30. Worry about the real-life consequences, not the in-game consequences. I would not let that dissuade you if you've wanted to play for a while. BB10 is regarded as one of the best seasons, has 0 twists. So here's the problem, though. BB10 had terrible ratings. Like, much worse than, like, 11. Much worse than 16. 16 had great ratings. So it's just like... And I'm sure the Big Brother producers are pissed. I'm sure what they're thinking is, okay, yeah, we got unlucky that Rachel got evicted. It happens. That wasn't the plan. Okay. That's part 1. And then part 2 is, guys, you loved reindeer games. You loved the wheel with Danielle Reyes getting eliminated and Brittany and Danielle's beef, and that was awesome. You guys were cheering us on. Why are you switching up? Well, it's because one is a goofy little show, and it was like the 4th day of them competing. We're on day 60. Rachel's played 8 weeks. They're not... it's it's so simple from our perspective because we like the show and appreciate the show. And I have no doubt, truly, that the producers thought top to bottom this is a great idea. There's no sinister intentions. They did not want Rachel out here. I'm sure if they had any power, they would do what they could to make sure Rachel did not get eliminated here because of this reaction that I'm sure they would get. All they need is one voice of reason in the room. Well, that voice of reason who will be listened to. Put Taryn in the room. Put Puya in the room. Fuck it, put Rachel Riley in the room. Like, you just need someone who has a different perspective from the producers currently. Because they're all in this world of like, let's try to recreate all of our best moments regardless of any of the context. Let's have the blockbuster in the final 8. That's fucking ridiculous. And like, genuinely, Rachel being eliminated has hidden the fact that we have the blockbuster at the final 8. If like Vince wins the veto and takes Morgan off, Lauren's picking between Ava, Kelly, and Keanu. Keanu would very likely go home. Is very likely to go home right now. And he really caught up to who's Lauren targeting. Last I heard, she was looking at Morgan. Keanu's right there too. Ava has safety. Okay. Ava has safety at final 6. What are we talking about? Confused. What does she have? She won safety from the twist. So just because she like won the safety chain, basically. I mean, she wouldn't have been a renom anyways. Like, I wouldn't be really worried about that. I think it would always have been Keanu anyways, but good for her. But yeah, I just don't care. Like, part of me, I don't want to, part of me hopes Keanu's evicted this week so it's just like all over. You know what I mean? Producers will edit in a way that they think will shift blame off them and onto the players themselves. It's just, here's the thing. If it was an honest safety chain where Rachel didn't get picked, you can make the case of like, well, at the end of the day, Rachel, like, your allies made a mistake and that got you sent home. Or your relationships weren't good enough. You spread yourself too thin. What, maybe. But the fact that it was like this competition format, the hamster wheel, where like Rachel, as far as we can tell, did pretty well socially, strategically, getting late in the order, and then failed when she eventually was put in the queue is just ridiculous. When you have players operate with such little information, players are not making mistakes. They're just guessing. And sometimes the guess pan out, and sometimes they don't. And it's not even like really educated guesses. It's just like results oriented. If Rachel had won the competition, Vince is an idiot. Right? If Lauren lost the competition, Vince is an idiot. There's just so many like variables. When you have 25 variables, you can't say like, oh, see, if only they did that. What about all those other things? This isn't even the first time CBS brought back a soul returning only to fuck them over with a terrible twist. Look, here's the thing. I think Rachel has had an unfair advantage all season. And I think she's made it work. Like, I think she's less advantaged than most returnees. 1 week of safety is pretty tame. It's still an advantage. She still has, obviously, way more experience. She still has a certain aura. She has all these things going for her. But that is a separate conversation from the one we're having now. You know what I mean? My hope is that there's more to the twist. I think there's virtually no... Okay, here's what I'll say. If in any capacity Rachel is still in the Big Brother game, whether it's in the blockbuster or some weird twist, whatever, that is unplanned and has been introduced now after a reaction. Every single indication that we've seen is Rachel is gone. And I think it's borderline delusional to think otherwise. They're calling Brendan. Come on. All of our spoilers are telling us she's in jury. She has exit press coming up earlier in the week, or later in the week, rather. Like, I don't think there's any reasonable case you can make that Rachel's not evicted. Which is why, if they bring her back, that's kind of ridiculous. Because that is just blatant rigging. No, I agree. The BB Can 10 did a great job of. It was a competition to determine the start of the safety chain, and then they did a competition between the 3 people at the end of the safety chain, and then a vote between the last 2. No one would be complaining. Well, people would be. Not as much. Complaining less. What about Dan Giesling's tweets? I haven't seen them. I'm not on Twitter. You guys could translate them to me. Transcribe them. Don't compare that to White Locust. Not the first time BB Can did an idea better than BBUS. Look, BB Can is better with twists, but their twists suck ass too, a lot of them. They're much better, like, production-wise, though. Like, they produce the twists better, with better, like, vibes and costumes and theming and everything. But they have terrible twists. I think triple evictions in general are pretty terrible. But they're kind of fun. Mike White 2 is fake. There you go. Even Brenda said she was called to say she was in jury. No, it's genuinely denial. Like, the stages of grief, like, it's just denial. People are going to tell you Dan was hinting at Rachel coming back, but he wasn't. Guys. we need to take a step back and look at the facts here. It's not this one's not ambiguous what's happening. So it's disappointing. I mean, I just think it's rough to watch. I think every season you're just waiting for producers to make a choice that ruins it. On Big Brother 26, they didn't really have one. Like, Janky Week was bad, but there just wasn't enough going on the players' side, and there wasn't enough, like, big players to get screwed over by the twist. Like, I think even Big Brother 25's, comic verse twist was super unfair in a myriad of ways. But there was still, like, a decent amount of wiggle room, right? There's still, like, ways to theoretically maneuver with the twist. This one, it just kind of, there's just nothing to do. If I say the BB26 dumb twist is AI Arena, okay, I'm gonna make a claim that I think is highly controversial. I think they should keep the blockbuster pre-jury. I think they should end it at the final 11 personally, but if they want to keep it until jury, that's fine. I think it makes Thursdays so much more exciting, and it does, in my opinion, make the feed slightly worse. It makes the gameplay worse, but I still think it, overall, for the product of the show, is helpful. Just think about all the times we were, like, anticipating watch. It feels like a double eviction every eviction, So, like, I actually am totally fine with the blockbuster going until jury. At the final 10, it feels kind of crazy, but it's okay. Some jurors leaving with blockbuster and some not is weird. Yeah, a little bit, but, I mean. Having it at the final 7 is so goofy. I'd rather take the blockbuster until jury rather than hoping that someone flips on a backdoor. I like backdoors. Like, here's the problem. Like, I think the danger with blockbusters are it just protects terrible players. And it allows someone like Keanu and someone like Kelly to make it so much further in the game than they should. And look, I think comps this season have been incredibly equitable. Like, I think this is the best season of competitions we've had in a long, long time. Maybe since legitimately some of the earlier seasons. But even with equitable comps, unless they're really crapshoots, some people are just better than others. Right? Like, it's not like producers' fault that Keanu's just better than Vince at everything. Not everything, but a lot of things, right? Or Keanu's just better than Ashley. But when you put so many mechanisms in where Keanu's advantages in competitions could make him place better than all these other players, that's the problem. It's not comp design, it's game design, right? BB25 fixed comps, so maybe this fixes the terrible midseason twist. Yeah, so Brendan made his long post in Chat BCC about like lamenting, celebrate, whatever you want to say, just like talking about, you know, thanking people for the support, all of that. The one thing he said that I disagreed with, which I don't really disagree with him, he's like, yeah, Rachel and I expected a nice, normal, no twist jury phase, which is like, that's not how Big Brother works. Big Brother at this point is an established thing that early jury, they pull some bullshit every single season. I forget exactly what 23's is. I know there was some bullshit. 24 obviously had the Festy Besties. 25 had Comic Week and Zombie Week right around the jury time. Had Janky Week, and now this. Like, this is how the game works at this point, and they've yet to create a good twist. Let me rephrase that. They've yet to create a not terrible twist. They've all been some of the worst weeks of the season. Direfest, people have fonder memories of. Again, I wasn't really locked into the fandom at that point. I think the Split House is one of the worst twists they've introduced, especially at that phase of the game. I think Comics Week was indefensible. There wasn't one part of that twist that was good. And then Janky Week genuinely was like fine. It just made the viewing experience worse. Like, structurally, it fucked with the game the least. It was just miserable to watch. And this one, it's like, did I like the twist? No, but I don't know because I didn't get to fucking see it. It's over. It's been over for days. It's just disappointing, right? And I think ultimately, I think for Rachel as a Big Brother, a figure in Big Brother history, I think this is probably good for it. Obviously, if Rachel could have gotten like a really deep run, maybe even won the season, maybe that helps. I think it's pretty unlikely that Rachel wins this season. I think we're all kind of in agreement in that. To be honest, I think if this twist doesn't happen, someone like Lauren probably still wins HOH. Rachel is a very likely target. Maybe she does get 9th. Like, I don't think this is a situation where, like, Rachel was to the end. So in some ways, being ejected in such a goofy situation, I think gives Rachel, like, a really nice what if, as opposed to, like, damn, is she really going on Kelly's HOH, Lauren's HOH, something like that? So I think, like, looking back at Rachel's, like, resume and her legacy, I don't think going out here is that bad of a thing. It kind of, like, you have to give her the benefit of the doubt. Not like she would have won the season, but, like, she was in a totally winnable position. So I think Rachel, like, she played her ass off this season. She got rid of basically all the menaces we wanted her to get rid of. She outlasted Mickey, which is fun. She probably got paid a good amount of money. Like, Rachel's going to be okay. It's just disappointing. It's disappointing from a viewer's perspective because this is not how the season was supposed to go. Ashley with Vito, I don't care. That's the thing. Like, I like Ashley, I like Will, I like some of these people. I think Vince is really fascinating to watch. I don't care. And it's not even like, I genuinely don't think it's cope or anything. I'm just less interested about how it plays out. I've never felt so, like, disenchanted with Big Brother. And again, like, I just think that's the worst position a reality show can be in. I love to hate watch Big Brother. It's one of my favorite things. I loved BB19, one of my favorite seasons. I loved BBOTT, rooting against Jason and Chrissy and all these people. And this season, I've lost the hate. I've lost the hate. I've lost the love. It just kind of is. Like, all right. This is what we're rocking with. Like, none of us had any idea that Thursday afternoon was the last time we'd see Rachel on the live feeds. Well, so, okay. Someone put in the chat, right? Next season, 14 broke-ass motherfuckers with no twists. I think they did a great job with this season so far. I haven't hated twists because there hasn't been that many outside of the blockbuster in like week 1 and 2. I think week 2 is the power. Maybe week 3, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. There hasn't been a crazy amount of twists. I don't like how recruity the cast is, but I think they got a lot of good recruits. The game has been super dynamic, a lot of that due to Rachel, but also people like Vince and people like Morgan and people like Keanu. Like, there's just a fluid game. Everyone's trying their ass off. I don't know how much Kelly's trying. Ava's kind of a mixed bag. All the other people who really didn't give a shit are gone. Will wants to win. His playstyle is just a little... Like, the season was good. I genuinely, like, every time I came on stream, I was talking about how much I liked the season. Every Thursday, I'm, like, jumping up and down during the evictions. Like, I think this season was really close to being, like, a top tier, at least, like, an A tier season, right? Like a BB20, BB17 level situation. And I think it's just going to be BB25 now. Where it's like, damn, that was really good before the White Locust. You know? That was a good season before the White Locust. And it's just like, it's so unnecessary. I just don't get it. I don't get it because this schedule should not have been a conflict. Why can't the mastermind just do a triple eviction? If Rachel went on a triple, that would be some bullshit. We move. There wouldn't be petitions and protests. You know what I mean? And like, even the shit Ava's talking about Rachel is like, is she coping and she feels so guilty? I don't care. Like, it's not like Ava owes Rachel anything. But like, it's just like, I don't, what does it matter? Like, I don't care about Ava. Right? Like, I don't feel connected to Ava. I don't feel connected to even Ashley. I just, like, I feel like I was connected to the story of the season. And I thought it was really setting up to be an interesting endgame. And it's kind of hard for Big Brother to have an interesting endgame. The format's kind of set up for it to, like, fall off in the back half. But I thought we had a good shot. And then it's just, like, overnight cooked. I think I'll prefer 25 to 27 now. Personal preference, but I still think I'll end up liking 27 more than 26. Like, think about Big Brother 25. Like, what if Zombie Week, feeds turn off, feeds turn back on, America's gone. America's gone, and then Jag wins out. That is so much worse than, you know, Jag winning out and evicting everyone anyways, you know? I just think, like, in BB25, it felt unfair. BB27 feels unhinged. It was like, BB27, I don't have any feelings because I didn't see anything. I didn't watch Big Brother. I received a text being like, Rachel's gone. I'm like, okay. Well, there you go. This year's Zombie Twist, like, I think this is worse than Zombie Week. Because, again, Zombie Week was just boring. It was really boring, and the people they brought back were miserable. Like, there's a lot of reason to hate Zombie Week. But it didn't end anyone's game. It's not like when Zombie Week happened, people said, I can't watch BB25 anymore. All the events post-Zombie Week that were possible because of Zombie Week are what made it miserable. They don't care about the feeds. They'll be glad to make semi-exciting, tragic Tuesday episodes for the casuals. Yeah, I mean, I think that is part of it. You have to realize that we don't matter, you know? I think the best... I wouldn't even advocate for this, because, like... Alright, how do I don't even know my thoughts on this. Let me read it out loud. It's getting too hot. I'm going to take this off. It's actually just way too hot. But let me think about this. I don't believe boycotting the show does anything. I'm gonna not watch, but not because I'm boycotting, right? Just because, like, I might still stream Thursday episodes just to give myself a reason to stream, you know? Boycotting, I think, I wouldn't want to say it's silly, but it's pointless. You know what I mean? Like, you're basically doing it on principle, which is fine. I think the real thing that could make some more noise is, like, commenting on social media and posting and stuff like that, right? And then I think a lot of times people respond and they're like, well, now you're just ruining some poor social media intern's day. No, you're not. I'm sorry. A social media intern who posts a goofy thing and then everyone in that thread is talking about the stupid twist that production made. The social media intern isn't in trouble. Do you guys understand that? Like, I don't think Alison Grodner is going to be like, intern Andrew, why would you do this? Comments drive conversation, just keep Big Brother in the conversation. It's what they want. You're giving us too much power. Like, it does. All publicity is not good publicity. That's never been the case. Like, when the main comment is, this show sucks, production is out of touch, that is not like, oh, at least we're in the news. At least we're trending. Like, that's not good. I think that's like a misconception that a lot of people have. It's not just you. A bunch of people are pissed off and talking about it, so let me go watch the show and see why. That's a weird reaction to that kind of information. If I heard, wow, Gossip Girl this last season, miserable, really not worth watching, I wouldn't be like, let's see exactly how bad it is. I think that's more of a you thing, Minnie. That would not be my reaction to that news, at the very least. Like, Game of Thrones season 8 was terrible. You know what happened there? That made a lot of people not want to binge the show at all. They were like, well, if it ends terribly, who cares? Right? It's exactly, America, right? It's not like, oh, God, season 8 was terrible. This is a big moment in pop culture. I got to check it out. What do you think about Mike White being pissed off? I think it's funny. I don't have many thoughts. I think it's funny, though. Lost season 6 terrible. Season 6 is the worst season, but it's got its high points. And it's a fake tweet, right? Where to get that flower lamp? Ask America. It's one of her babies. Yeah, so in general, like, my big takeaways are, I don't think this is the worst twist in Big Brother history, to be clear. And the reason for that is, like, I think there's format-altering twists that, like, ruin the season from day one for weeks to come. You know what I mean? Like, I think Battle of the Block is still worse than this. I think that's the worst twist that's ever existed. You know what I mean? I think Camp Comeback is still worse than this. I think a twist like Zombie Week is right on par with this, but this one obviously had a worse outcome. Friendship Race, like the week 1 twist, I just don't think hold the same weight. Even night 1 evictions, just because we don't know the casts as well, it's like never going to have the same impact, and that's by design. That's why they're okay doing them. Coup d'etat is a terrible twist as well. Sure. I think coup d'etat you could put on par with this, but at least there's... I think coup d'etat is a little better than this. I do think the fact that coup d'etat is voted for by America is pretty diabolical. I think season 11 coup d'etat, you could argue, is the worst. I wouldn't hate that argument. More of this is coming, Month of Mayhem. Did my tweet pop off? I haven't checked. How many likes? When you say popped off, do you mean popped off, or like good tweet popped off? More of this is coming in the Month of Mayhem. The month of bad scheduling. 10K? 11K? Oh, I'm never getting asked back. I just think it's like... I'm a super fan of the show. I love Big Brother. And I hate Big Brother, of course, but I hate Big Brother, you know? And I love it. So it's just like... What's the point of me going on my favorite show, and then I get off my favorite show, and I have to start, like, pretending to like everything? Like, this is what happened when you cast a real superfan. Like, me and America, like, we're pissed. Do you know why we're pissed? Because we care. Do you know why some of these other super fans are not pissed? Because they're not super fans. So, like, practically, could this be a reason I don't get asked back? Sure. I think if I was a lock to come back, if I was Tucker, I'd still tweet it. And if it jeopardized my position, it would still be fine. It's not even like I'm doing it on principle. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got to stand behind my fellow superfans. I just feel things strongly about this show. It's my favorite show. So much of my life now is built around this show. I met my girlfriend on the show. I grew up watching the show with my family. My brother was on the other show. Like, yeah, I care. I do care a lot. More than you should, right? So yeah, I'm going to tweet. That's it. In this case, everyone's on the same side. Yeah, I know. I just saw people being like, Cory, you're not going to get asked back anymore. It's like, well, low key, if I was already not on the Amazing Race show where I have like a really special familial connections, it seems kind of unlikely, right? I'm not crazy. Like, like the writing is somewhat on the wall. You know what I mean? He had to meet me because of the show. That is true. That is true. I'm trying to make sure Quinn gets the call. Still would love for Cory and Quinn to return as our superfan nerd duo in production's eyes. I'm turning on Quinn. I can't trust him. He would mean well. Can't trust him. Thoughts on Julie's interview talking shit about Ashley, Rachel, and Morgan? I mean, look, Julie's got great takes, so I'd have to read the article to really understand her perspective, but my initial impression is Julie's probably making some good points, right? Julie is a casual? Yeah. Is that sarcasm? No. Julie says Morgan started the cheat mats. Alright. Let me talk about this for a second, because Vince is fucking insane. I'm genuinely impressed by his, like, levels of depravity. And I do not mean cheating on your girlfriend of so many years. I mean, how does he betray everyone in the house in, like, creative new ways? It's insane. Like, him fucking over Morgan is so funny. I just love it. Like, there's a lot of things I think Vince is worthy of criticism for. I've kind of grown disenchanted with his play style. I think it's interesting. I don't like watching it that much. But, like, he is diabolical. He is devious. And I just think no more comparing Vince to other players. He is one of one. There's no other player like Vince. I think Vince and Quinn occupied similar roles on their respective seasons. They could not be less similar as players. He does not own his diabolical nature. I know, which is it's so funny. It's like doing so much and then taking credit for none of it. In fact, like crying the whole time. Like this is like, what if Nicole Franzel was terrible at the game? And also, no, again, no comparisons. No one works. He's so unique. Quinn is the far better player. I think I would trust Quinn to win more seasons. I think Vince's game even better? I mean, Vince obviously has more win equity, but it's a much weaker cast. But B26, I don't know. It's an interesting debate. I have more faith in Quinn as a player, but I also know Quinn, so. Is Vince the most selfish player we've ever seen? I mean, Allison's probably up there. Compliment. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. But I think Allison, he's definitely in that mold of just, like, he'll betray anybody. The only reason Vince is getting away with this is there's no good players besides Rachel. He's not even getting away with it, really. Like, he's been on the block as a target several times. Like, he's kind of won when he's needed to, and circumstances have shaken out the right way. Like, I don't think Vince... he's not like benefiting from a terrible cast. Like, he's still exposed in this terrible cast. Everyone knows what he's up to. Quinn is more well liked and had social capital and probably could have gotten away with more if he wasn't exposed by Tucker. Yeah, I mean, the game was messy a little bit before then, but that was really the moment that blew everything up. I think Quinn is in a weird spot where, like, all the allies he theoretically should have stuck with were the best players in the house. So, like, I don't know. It's a tough spot. I do not envy Quinn's position. I'm really glad I was on Big Brother 25. Even with the inequitable comps. Like, that felt like a real game. Who has the most win equity now? I think Lauren. Look, I've said this. I feel like I've been on this boat for a long time. I think Lauren, not a good player, but, like, she's totally serviceable. She's likable, good at competitions, and is not self-destructive. It's pretty good. Like, it's like a replacement level above replacement level player. The indecisiveness is really bad, but, like, I'd rather that be your weakness than, like, a bad social game. Or, like, nominating your allies all the time, you know? She put up Adrian, but it's not like her and Adrian were tight. It was just bad. Thanks, Anonymous. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. How is she not self-destructive when she sent home her allies? Her first HOH, she got rid of Adrian, which was a bad play, but it wasn't like she was super tight with Adrian, and she was still in a good spot the next week. I think this week her noms are perfect. I have no problem with them. I don't think she has a brutal social game. Like, she has a brutal social game insofar as she doesn't put herself out there like crazy and she doesn't make a ton of connections, but no one really hates her. A lot of people, like, kind of look down on her because, again, the indecisiveness. But there's never, like, a ton of vitriol towards Lauren, except for some of the sexist stuff we saw earlier in the season, which, like, obviously I'm not putting that on her. Yeah, like, I think Lauren's fine. Like, I think Lauren as a winner would be incredibly boring, but I think she is probably the best winner on the board left in terms of, like, if Will is able to somehow get to the end and win, that'll be extremely impressive, because I think his biggest flaw is win equity. I think if Ashley somehow social strategies her way to the end, maybe, but that seems so unlikely. I think of the likely winners, I think Lauren would be the strongest. I guess here's the thing. I much prefer Morgan and even Vince's playstyle to Lauren as, like, a feed watcher and as a former player and all these things. I think Lauren's a better player than Vince and Morgan. And sometimes that's just, like, being passive is sometimes just better than being active when the active players are really bad. So it's just, like, I don't want to, like, reward that behavior, but I do just, like, if you put a polygraph on me, I think Lauren's probably the best player in the house. Even more than Ashley. Because I like Ashley a lot. I think she's a riot to watch in the feed. She's really fun. The social game is just not there. It's not good enough. And, like, Lauren's is bad too, but Ashley, like, has people disliking her a lot throughout the whole season. But that's just my take on that. They're not that far apart, Lauren and Ashley, to be clear. Like, they're both in the same boat for different reasons. I think sometimes Ashley is a little bit more, like, off-putting to people, especially earlier in the season, whereas Lauren just doesn't talk to people. But L take respectfully. I don't think this is a crazy hot take. Like, what's the disagreement? That is because Ashley speaks her mind and talks? Yes. 100%, absolutely, I agree. I think that also is, like, that's just context. That doesn't push against what I'm saying. Ashley's doing a really good job with Kelly and Ava this week. I haven't watched the feeds yesterday, so I guess I'm basing my assessments on everything before then, but I don't think one day would, change a ton. I can't believe we're talking about Lauren being good. Y'all just don't listen. Got this disease of the no listening virus. Like, I feel like I've been pretty clear about my thoughts on Lauren as a player. She's, like, socially fine, likable, very passive, and is pretty good at comps. That sounds like the best player in the house to me. Lauren is the best player to never win. I did say that. That was a quote. Now that Rachel's gone, does that help Ashley? No. I don't think so. Like, I think Ashley's path was always with, like, Will, basically, and hoping she has more respect than Will. And then cutting Rachel later. But she just needs numbers. She needs people to vote to keep her, and more importantly, people to win competitions and keep her safe. So, like, that's kind of the other shame about the twist, is, like, it wasn't just Rachel being evicted in such a ridiculous way. It's also a Lauren HOH with Ashley and Will on the block. And it just feels so checkmate. Like, what are they supposed to do? And apparently the target's Morgan and the backup target's Keanu, so they might be fine anyways, but, like, it just feels hopeless, you know? Ava never held her accountable for nominating Adrian and Will during week 3. I do not credit that to Lauren, actually. Ava just doesn't care. Like, I think on Big Brother Unlocked a couple days ago, we saw that segment about Rachel and Keanu, where Keanu was going to Ava and telling Ava that everyone's pitching her name because they were, and then Ava didn't care because Ava doesn't care. You know, like, I think that's more of an Ava problem than, like, a Lauren. Damn, she did a really good job socially there, you know? Like, at the end of the day, Ava just likes the people she likes and doesn't like the people she doesn't like. Having a BB winner who says, I'm scared to talk to people is absurd in a social game environment. It's kind of real, though. It's kind of real and based. Am I crazy? I've been there. What's your take on Morgan for the rest of the season? I appreciate Morgan because she tries really hard. Beyond that, it's like, I don't think she's very good at the game. I don't think she's very good at comps. Like, but she's a game bot, and I love that. And she's got some funny stream clips. I think she's probably a really good streamer, just the way she's able to just, like, monologue. But I'd be down for Morgan on, like, any returning player season. Just, if you throw in enough players like Morgan, it's going to be a shit show. Throw in a Morgan, throw in an Izzy, throw in a Quinn. Like, players who are just going to game until their tails fall off, like, I'm down. You run duos with her? Yeah, for sure. I wish Morgan had a better edit. Yeah. I mean, who's gotten a great edit? I feel like Rachel's even not gotten... She's gotten a lot of airtime. Will's gotten a great edit. Ava's gotten a great edit. Vince has gotten a big edit. Keanu's gotten a great edit. But, like, Keanu, you know. I feel like they're showing Keanu... Like, I feel like if I watched Keanu and I was just a feed watcher, or just an episode watcher, rather, I don't think I'd be the biggest Keanu fan, but I also didn't like Tucker's edit. So maybe I just have a certain, like, way with these people. Like, obviously people think Tucker got a great edit. I did not think Tucker came off super well. What's up, Chris? They at least show people hating on Keanu in the DR. Yeah. Ashley comes across awful in the edit. I mean, she's just an antagonist to Keanu, right? Which is not a good spot to be for the edit. What didn't you like about Tucker's edit? Just curious. I just thought he came across as kind of mean. I thought the him and Cedric thing looked kind of bad for him. I don't think they even edited him and Lisa. They might have had one segment, but I didn't think that looked good. And I really didn't like the way he talked about Quinn. And, like, even in the episodes, like, he was very... I think the main point I'm talking about, because I didn't watch all the episodes 26, was that whole scenario of basically trying to strong-arm Cedric into doing something right before the America's veto. And, like, people watched that, and I was like, y'all think that was a good edit for Tucker? That seems so, like, he just seems so rude. And so, like, domineering and mean. But, like, people just didn't see it that way. So I guess it's subjective. You go in liking Tucker, disliking Quinn, so you're obviously not going to have a problem with him going after Quinn in that way. People now think production screwing her and her tainted win would not be overlooked. I mean, I hear that. The problem is she could have won this season, right? Like, she could have really had a deep run. But I hear you. Like, I think overall this is probably better for her legacy than just letting it run out normally. because I just don't think she would have won. I think too many of the compies are on the wrong side of the house. Compies, I mean, like, capable competitors are on the other side of the house. So, like, I don't think she had a great shot. So in that way, maybe. But Rachel wasn't actually eliminated. She was trapped in the Locust Resort or whatever. No, Godspeed. You gotta Godspeed. It's time to take a breath. It's time to move on. Everyone find a buddy. Console with your buddy. You shouldn't be going through this alone. Godspeed. Do you think Ashley would win over Lauren? Maybe. I don't know how the fuck they end up in the final, too. I think it'd be pretty close. With that jury, I mean, like, Rachel and Will would be Ashley. Nah, I think Lauren wins. Because Lauren gets Vince for sure. Lauren gets Kelly for sure. Lauren gets Ava for sure. I guess it probably comes down to Keanu, right? And I think Keanu votes Lauren. I think Morgan might vote Ashley, but I think it'd be 4-3 Lauren. But Keanu would be the swing. I believe. Peacock makes a show called Big Sister, and then we leave this fuck-ass production team behind. Nah, because I kind of hate traitors, too, so that's... I don't hate traitors. We don't have to go through the traitors conversation again. Who do we root for now that Rachel is gone? Are we all on the Keanu train? I'm not rooting for anyone. But I do think right now if I could pick, I'd pick a Keanu win. I think that'd be the funniest ending. And the most fitting for the season. I think Will or Ashley, it just feels so far-fetched. But I think I'd still prefer a Keanu win to either of them. Because that would just be funny. Keanu winning Big Brother would just be like such a... Oh. So Big Brother's over. Like, the show as we know it is just not here anymore. Yeah, I feel that way, Floor. Genuinely no one left over I really care about. Good luck to them. Yeah, I wish them the best. You know? Yeah, I'm sure they're trying their hearts out with the veto. And it's upsetting because I don't like sole returnees. I didn't want Rachel on the season. Like, I love Rachel. I think she's a one-of-one character, top 2 or 3 Big Brother character, top 5 reality character ever. Like, all those things. I just don't like what it does to a season usually. But I think Rachel being on this season was so interesting because she didn't take that, like, domineering Paul-esque role. Jesse Godder's role. And just as she was kind of coming into her own and you vaguely started to see a path is when they flung her out of the game. Like Big Brother 25 would not have ended if Suri got evicted at some point. You know, like there was still like more game to play. It's just with Rachel gone, I just don't hurt. Like Rachel leaving reveals just how like weak her side is. Not in terms of like gameplay. Like Ashley and Will are some of the better players in the house. It's just like shit, they got no one over there. It was kind of Rachel was just the only one. Forcing the issue every week. Blockbuster being a Final Four is stupid. No, I think 7 is what Sharon Tharp said, right? So it'll be this week and next week, which is still insane, but the Final Four would mathematically not work. Like that. That actually just wouldn't work. I wouldn't put it past them. Can we talk about Ava coming to win AFP? No, guys, AFP's over. It's been over for 5 weeks now. I'm sorry. Like, you guys got to trust me on this. I don't feel confident about my reads on how good players are. Never have. This season, I've been wrong about a lot of things. I've been wrong about a lot of Rachel's decisions. The thing I'm not wrong about is who's winning AFP this season, who's going to win AFP last season. Keanu will be America's favorite player. That is decided. That's been decided. She said she came on the show to win AFP. It's funny. So it's just like, it'll be Rachel. Guys, have you guys watched the edit? Just talk to a casual in your life. Please. Like, I promise you this is not going to be a close vote. It's just, like, I'm going to vote for Rachel. I don't think it's close. For me, Rachel's been the best part of the season. Keanu has already won. Tiffany won over DX. I mean, Tiffany was, first of all, DX got 10th place, and Tiffany was the main character of the season. Like, I think that's a very different spot. And if you end up being wrong, I just won't be. Like, it was like last year with Tucker. Like, it was predetermined. Oh, no, Angela. No, it's Tucker. People probably voted for Derek F by accident. That's funny. Davon also beat Tyler. Guys, BB22 Tyler, what edit do you think he got? Like, that was like Cody's season. It's not just like the casuals' favorite indoors over the years. Like, season 22, Davon was the underdog. Season 25, Cameron was the underdog. Season 26, Tucker was the underdog. Season 27, guys, this is like a very clear formula. Good-looking dude, underdog is always a really clear path. There's some exceptions. Taylor, Tiffany. I've had a couple years in a row now. Keanu and Rachel will be top 2. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I want you guys to understand, like, a majority, I don't know about a vast majority, but I think so. A vast majority of viewers will be thrilled that Rachel's evicted. Because Rachel's polarizing. She gets in some shit. She gets in confrontations. She comes off a certain way. I love it. We all love it. Casuals don't like how it comes across. Vast majority is just not true. What, I was 60%, 65, 70? I don't know. Donnie was hot. He's a good looking man. Tyler tasing Lance Bass. That was good. I don't know how Tyler got top 2 in BB22. He checks a lot of those boxes. What would it take for production to be able to salvage this show? They don't have to do anything. They just have to do less. Like, the show's really good. I love Big Brother. It's not a hard formula. It's not like this is unsalvageable. It's just do less. Just take your foot off the gas a little bit. Which is weird because casuals are always like, we want old school BB and drama, and then complain when an ounce of it is shown. Yeah. Old school BB is just like a buzzword at this point. Like, it doesn't mean anything. I genuinely do think, like, if Kelly looked like Zach from this season, not my brother, if he looked like Zach, Kelly might be AFP too. Do we agree on that? Like, if Kelly was just a guy, she'd have a much different edit and would have a great shot after winning all these blockbusters. Hell no, we hate Kelly. Lila, it's not a separate question that you're answering. But, like, I just think we often overcomplicate the America's Favorite Player equation when it's a pretty straightforward situation every year. Her personality sucks too bad. Do we have to go through the past few AFPs? And, like, I don't think Tucker is, like, a terrible guy or anything. I genuinely really like Tucker. I've heard nothing but nice things. When I met him, he was super sweet. But on the feeds, I was not a fan, really. Cameron, we've been through that, you know? Frank Udy, Jeff Schroeder. Like, that's not a factor. Having any kind of personality that you don't like has nothing to do with if you can win AFP or not. Because on the show, you get a very sanitized version of not just Keanu, but everyone. Except sometimes they throw weird people under the bus. Like, look, I think Mickey had a lot of reasons to get a negative edit in a lot of different areas. They tossed her under the bus. Like, tossed her under the bus in the way they refused to do with half the other people in the house. And there's a lot of reasons as to, why you'd speculate that's the case. I think the most simple version, they thought she was going to go home 4 weeks in a row, and they wanted a coherent story. There's obviously other, identity-based reasons. That is not surprising, right? Who do you think has the best edit this season? I think relative to what they've actually been, maybe Adrian. But Adrian, I liked Adrian. There's nothing wrong with Adrian on the show. It's just like I think he got like a really sympathetic edit. Kelly, they just taken off the show. Keanu seems obvious. Riley, of course, has a totally different edit. I think Riley is probably just the answer. I think Ava's another one where like Ava's gotten a disproportionate amount of screen time for her role on the season. Like they love Ava segments. Despite Ava really being not in the mix for a while now. So I think Ava's gotten like the most disproportionate edit, but like Kelly, I don't know, I think Riley has had the most like deceptive edit, if that makes sense. The inmates are running the asylum. I will say though, BB Unlocked was kind of awesome a couple days ago. I guess it was just yesterday. Jag and Jazz were our guests. They were great. You know, it was Jazz's first podcast ever. He was fucking hilarious. I don't know if y'all watched it. It was before we knew about Rachel, obviously. I would recommend watching it. I don't plug my podcast very often. That was a good one. And I know people are sometimes critical, like, oh, Jag on podcast, he kind of shuts down. Not with us. Jag was hilarious. Jazz hilarious. I think America feels so comfortable talking, obviously, with me and the two of them. Like, it was just a really fun shooting the shit podcast. So if you're interested in maybe less sad Big Brother content, I think that'd be a good spot to go. Adrian's fun on social media. I have no beef with Adrian. I really like Adrian. He seems like a nice guy. I think we'd be friends if we met, like, in normal circumstances. Even if we meet now. Like, it was just the... I think, like, I was like, damn, Adrian's going to get AFP if he makes, like, 8th place or 9th place. Like, the show really were trying to make it happen. Lex, that's just such a rude thing to say. And it's so, like I'm a human being reading that comment, and it's so socially unaware of you to type those words. Like, it's just embarrassing that you think that's, like, a normal thing to write to another person. Oh, the boot? I'm going to be offline probably when you get upstairs. I'm going to wrap it up here. Anyways, look, I don't know if that came off as too harsh. Just don't shit talk my friends in my chat. I feel like that should be so implied. That's it. I didn't mean to single out anyone, even if I definitely did do that. And by next stream, I'll probably forget who wrote it, but it's like, it's just wait. Give that guy a timeout. Ooh, the picket fence. The riots are starting. No, we're not going to do that. It's fine. Anywho, that is the stream. Yeah, I know who did. It's fine, guys. That's it. That is the stream. If you time out Lex, you time me out too. I'm going to ban you. Yeah, just time me out. I'm not going to time out Lex, though. A warning is always in order, if I know who you are, at least in a Twitch chat way. But I don't know who you are. Yeah, you chill with spoilers in the chat. It's just, there's no reason for it. Oh, is it the cable? Your meds. Oh, my meds. You're getting crazy tonight. But anyways, thank you all for hanging out. Fun stream. Look, at the end of the day, I love talking about Big Brother, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. I like talking. Did you guys realize? I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the season. I don't know if I'm going to be doing other updates. I'm really, it's not like a performance I'm putting on. I just don't care what happens anymore. We obviously are doing Unlocked for the, duration of the season, so we'll be watching that. I think I'll probably still stream Thursday episodes, because it's kind of hard to come up with like reasons to stream, or like ideas to stream with law school. It's just extremely busy. Don't you have to do updates with Terran contracted? Well, look, I know all these people. Like it could be fine. And what happened to our Wednesday updates with Terran? I started law school, guys. What do you mean? Um, like we kind of knew like law school was gonna start, and then we'll see what the deal is after that. If you guys think I've been blacklisted from RHAP, that is not the case, obviously. So I'm just saying that. But anyways, that will do it. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Is anyone live? Any of the friends, the homies, or are we all just gonna go back to our dungeons? Please subscribe to Morg Reacts. Yeah. Quinn will be in 7 minutes. Oh, he's got the 8-12, 7-12. I'll raid Quinn, and you guys could sit in his offline chat if you'd like. Glee. I think we're gonna do for real tonight is the plan. That should be fun. You don't want the raid, Quinn? I can cancel it right now. Just say the word. I'm sitting on the raid now or cancel button. Choose. This is where Quinn plays devil's advocate. I don't want you to feel pressured. All right, you have been raided, Quinn. There's no pressure.